Blame Truth here, and I just want to say first and foremost, you guys should probably follow my Twitter account and my secondary inactive YouTube channel just in case. You should also probably like this video because apparently someone doesn't want what I'm saying to be seen and stuff like that. I feel like I was kind of personally targeted just recently by Activision. I uploaded a video, I think it was 2 days ago, just talking about the Black Ops 6 leaks. Just talking about it, not using any assets. They actually copyright struck that video because I had like this tiny, indistinguishable little screenshot from Black Ops 6. I mean, it's literally indistinguishable from something from Cold War or any other Call of Duty in the thumbnail. And they struck the whole video down. They didn't just take the thumbnail away. They didn't say, hey, can you change the thumbnail? They just struck it. So right away, I'm just like, they're gonna be that petty, huh? I mean, the game comes out in, what, 3 weeks or whatever, officially, with the beta anyway. But yeah, they're gonna be that petty. Not to mention, they're the ones that messed up and leaked their own fucking game. So I don't know how, like, people should be punished for their fuck up. But either way, man, clearly I should just not use any unreleased asset ever, or I'm honestly on the verge of just never posting Call of Duty gameplay again. As weird as that sounds, like I might just stick to XDefiant gameplay forever and just talk about Call of Duty stuff because I find this game more enjoyable. But what's going to happen is I'm going to upload yesterday's video within this video. So after this first AA12 gameplay, I'm going to put it at the end there. If you've already seen it, then, you know, you can watch it again, or you could just click off the video. If you haven't seen it, I think it's very important to watch because, I mean, I talked about it in that video, but the Black Ops 6 leaks, the game looks like someone just modded Cold War into Modern Warfare 2 or 3 or something. It doesn't look like a Treyarch game. It looks like this homogenous, just fucking, I don't know, soulless Call of Duty status quo game. It looks bad. A lot of people were coping and saying, well, you're judging the game based on a PS4 leak, you know? But, like, that's the thing. I'm not judging the game based on how it looks. I don't care how it looks. It's Call of Duty on ultra-low settings for PS4 people. I have no qualms with the actual visuals. Everything I was critical of are the gameplay elements, the gameplay decisions, the features and whatnot, which isn't going to change whether you have 4K textures in Bloom or some gray, muddied, washed-out mess that we see on PS4. It's the weirdest cope. I've seen some weird coping in this community, like when Black Ops Cold War released, unfinished, crashing consoles. People were like, well, the game was made during a pandemic. You gotta give them time. You gotta give them a break. Why don't Activision give the devs time? The poor devs. Seriously. But either way, guys, I mean, I gotta kind of tread lightly here because they don't like me. They don't like me over there. I wonder why, right? I do have somebody who is kind of an insider. I'm just going to post this little snippet from a DM we had, but I'm going to leave him anonymous. But he pretty much informed me, and he's informed me several times now, that they're not a big fan of me over there. And, you know, I get it. I'm critical of them. But, like, I also don't really understand where they were at the entire time. I'm not critical of them, and I was enjoying their games and stuff like that. I mean, I've been playing Call of Duty since Call of Duty 4 in 2008, you know, like literally 2008 until I'd say 2018. I was overall pretty positive with Call of Duty, even during the bad games I didn't like. There were Treyarch games I loved. I've loved every Treyarch game up until Black Ops 4. So I don't know, man. Where are the emails, the invites to events, whatever? I'm just not like a guy that I think is supposed to be popular. And in a weird way, I kind of have imposter syndrome because I'm like, I'm just one dude talking. How am I getting this company so pressed? How do I have a YouTube channel with nearly 500,000 subs? I don't really get it. I don't do like this Mr. Beast formulate the perfect thumbnail and find all this exact science on how to get the most out of the YouTube algorithm and all this other stuff. I don't have a team of people doing that. I'm one guy. I've been sitting in this studio, the same studio, because I bought my house in like 2011 or whatever. I've been sitting in the same fucking studio, you know, that I set in 15 years ago. So I don't know, man. I don't know how I have them so pressed. I don't know how I am so popular as it stands. I don't really get it. I'm glad you guys enjoy it. I don't really understand it. I appreciate it, and I thank you guys a lot. But, like, man, it's clear to me that I'm just not, like, that guy. I'm not the fucking prom king or whatever. You know, I speak my mind. I speak my mind, positive and negative. And like, that's something that a lot of people don't like. And if you think it's only when I'm critical, you are insane. I've actually gotten more flack. I'm not kidding. I've gotten more flack and pushback from just being positive about XDefiant. I like the game. I have like 230 hours played on it. I'm really enjoying it still. I don't have a lot of criticisms at the moment. And like, people hate that. I don't know why. I do not know why. People hate that. They'll come and say like, I'm getting paid off by Ubisoft, or they'll say dead game, or they'll say whatever. I can't escape it, man. The FPS community, no matter what I do, I cannot just have some positive discourse. We can't all think logically. It's all just emotional drivel, pretty much, at the end of the day. Anyway, though, guys, follow me on my other platforms. They'll be in the video description. Here is the other video that has been taken down, and hopefully this one stays up. Lame Truth here, and I unfortunately have some bad news. You see, I woke up today pretty late in the day because I'm a YouTuber and my sleep schedule has never been great, and it never will be, honestly. But I woke up pretty late in the day and I caught the tail end of this massive Black Ops 6 leak. Now, when I say massive, I don't mean like everything in the game's leaking, but I do mean the multiplayer was pretty much shown verbatim, just out in the open, no Eminem dressing it up, no, quick cuts and explosions and people setting things up, Nicki Minaj teabagging a soldier with her flappy pussy lips. None of that. Just the core actual multiplayer components were shown, and I can't be optimistic. I can't sit up here and lie to you guys and be optimistic. I was optimistic when the trailer dropped. I truly was. It did look good, but seeing just the bare bones, I guess, skeleton of the game, it was PS4 footage as well for the most part, but seeing the bare bones skeleton of the game, the actual mechanics of the game, I can't be optimistic because this game is just not fucking Treyarch. It's not fucking Treyarch. I covered in my last video about the studio heads leaving Treyarch, like Vonderhaar, Tony Flame, Jason Blundell. All of these people are gone from the studio. The studio is Treyarch by name only. What I saw from the leaks today is not a Treyarch game. If you want my honest opinion, and this is how it's going to be when the full game releases, guaranteed, the game looks like someone modded Cold War onto Modern Warfare Roman numeral 2 2022 Electric Boogaloo. It's Dorban time, not the OG one, is what I'm trying to say. That's what it looks like. It looks like they just kind of took Cold War, the skin of it, and then pasted it on the skeleton and the organs and the muscle tissue of Modern Warfare Roman numeral 2 from 2 years ago. That's truly what it looks like, down to the fact that I saw so many doors. And look, guys, I want to remind you of this, okay? Because a lot of people forget in this community. People just, I don't know, man. They just don't remember anything if it's further back than a couple of years. But back in 2020, when Cold War launched, one of the big selling points of the game was that it would not have doors in multiplayer. Traditional multiplayer would not have doors, and it would not have tac sprint. That was a literal fucking marketing bullet point to sell the game. So what happened in the past 4 years? What happened in the past 4 years, Treyarch? What made you change your mind in these past 4 years? Did you join the church of the latter-day doors? Did an angel tac sprint to you in the night and speak to you and give you a message from God? What in the fuck happened in the past 4 years to make you completely change your stance when it comes to these mechanics that, if I'm being honest, anyone with an actual brain does not want in the multiplayer? If you sit there in my comment section right now, and you know I'm talking about you, yeah, you, take that fucking hot dog out your mouth, man. Costco has not raised the price on those motherfuckers in like 30 years. Why in the hell has Call of Duty gone up $10 in the past 5? I digress. Get the fucking hot dog out your mouth, all right? Listen to me right now. If you like doors in multiplayer, you need to really reevaluate your life. Doors don't belong in multiplayer, especially doors that are made by fucking NASA that cannot be blown up or destructed, I will say. I don't know why we took a step back from Vanguard. Again, Sledgehammer Games giving us a good feature. If they're going to have doors in the game, at least make them destructible. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. How is it realistic to have some door that can withstand, like, 30 shells of buckshot? I don't get it. Someone please explain it to me. But let me get back to the leaks here. Obviously, I can't show all of the leaks. I mean, honestly, most of them got taken down pretty instantly by Activision. They were up maybe, I saw them for maybe like 10 minutes. I had 10 minutes to get my fill. And what I saw, I cannot be optimistic at all. Sorry, guys. I saw tons of doors, tack sprinting again, and just a skin that looked like, I don't know, Cold War over Modern Warfare 2. I swear to you as well, I saw gun mounting. I mean, guys, look, who wants this crap, man? Who in the hell said, like, I want all of these features from these Modern Warfare titles in my Treyarch game, and also mess with the movement so you can river dance and shit and dive around like Max Payne? Who in the hell asked for that? The only thing people have been asking for the past 5 years is tone down SBMM, improve the matchmaking, maybe have servers that are not stationed in the trenches, someone's basement in Bangladesh. I am sick of packet burst and packet loss, and you know that's going to be a thing. It's not going to change. It's actively gotten worse in the past 5 years. I'm not kidding with that. Maybe don't release a game every year. Maybe stick with one title and constantly update it. That's what XDefiant's doing. That's why XDefiant even exists. These issues I'm bringing up are why XDefiant even exists. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, I am totally happy on XDefiant. If Cold War bombs, I do not give a shit this year. I will not be bored all year. No, I'm going to play XDefiant. I like this game. I have 225 hours or something like that in the game right now. They just buffed the shotguns. They got the weapon balance, like, pristine. They just released a new map with Daytona. It's free to play. Repeat after me. It's free to play. I have no desire to touch the yearly guinea pig science experiment. We don't know what the hell we're doing. We're going to hold back features and charge you $70 multiplayer every single year. And yeah, it's on Game Pass this year. I might get a free voucher for Game Pass and just not give them any money whatsoever, because I truly do not think this game is going to be good. I have no hopes for Black Ops 6 after seeing what I saw today. It looks soulless. I don't think a lot of people understand what I mean when I say a game is soulless. They are making AI bundles now and selling them for $20, $30 in the store. And here's my thing, okay? Here's my thing. If they are trying to do that, who's to say they won't do that for multiplayer features? Who's to say they won't just stop like releasing these new innovative features in general and then just have the same core engine and keep pasting AI bullshit over it and then, you know, shuffle around some features every year and then call it a day? That's pretty much what they're doing anyway, but with actual devs. Why not just get AI to do it for you at this point? Every single game, and I'm serious here, man, every single Call of Duty game since Modern Warfare 2019 on has felt soulless. I would argue that a lot of them felt soulless before that, but really hammering home how, like, just, it's a game they want to shit out once a year and then just be done with it. You know, it's not a game that feels like it's made with love and care, that feels like the devs want to make the best game possible. And it's very apparent going from games like, let's say, Lethal Company that I played just recently, which caught on, Helldivers 2, XDefiant. These games, they may have fallen off in popularity recently, and that's fine. That's fine, because the normies, I mean, the casual experience, the casuals coming into the space have completely ruined gaming. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to gatekeep here, and I'm not trying to crap on anyone that just wants to play a couple games, you know, a week and have a beer or whatever. But I am criticizing the fact that these normies come in and they play games because it's cool and they play games because their friends are doing it. but maybe we need to gatekeep a little bit. Maybe we need to have a mode separated for these individuals and have them just play Among Us and prop hunt and stuff like that, instead of forcing them into the multiplayer component, which historically for Call of Duty players has been more of a hardcore gamer space. I mean, if they want to join in on the fun, maybe don't gaslight them and the good players and everyone that plays your game with skill-based matchmaking. Maybe just have them get shit on a little bit, like XDefiant here. I still run into new players. This gameplay, I got this last night. The competition wasn't that good. This guy went 7-25, Raw Dog Red 904. He still stayed in the game. He still had fun. Stop lying to people. They're never going to get better or improve. Stop gaslighting your fucking player base, me included. Let's do another gameplay. I got a lot I want to get off my chest. I have more I want to say. I can't just end on one gameplay, 8 minutes. Nah, son. I got to keep going. Oh my God. Here's another thing, too, about the casual experience, all right? The gameplay, the leaked gameplay that I personally saw was on PS4. So, yes, it looked really ugly. I'm not going to dock them points for that. But the fact that they're still releasing Call of Duty on these ancient fucking consoles. I mean, guys, these are like, what, a decade old now? Imagine if a game was made to specifically run on your 10-year-old PC optimally. I mean, like, you have to cut corners in the actual innovation department. Like, the fact that they want to shit this game out on every single console, it wouldn't surprise me if they port it to the Switch eventually. It wouldn't surprise me if they make a cartridge and release the game on the Atari 2600 eventually. I'm not kidding. It wouldn't surprise me if they did that as a joke or something, just to make more money. And look, man, I get money's tight. I get not everybody could get a new console or a fancy PC, but maybe, I don't know, don't spend $300 on a vape pen and like $1,000 on a MacBook and just shell out that money and build a nice PC instead. You know, you can cut corners in your own life to get a better gaming experience. But if all you're playing is Call of Duty, what's the point, right? Like, just keep playing on your 11-year-old PlayStation 4, your launch edition. Speaking of launch edition, you plug in Black Ops 6 into that thing, it's liable to launch out of the fucking house, straight through the roof and into space, because the fans are going to be running so hard to keep that thing cool to run this game. I just want to see, I want to see Call of Duty maybe just stop insulting the casual player base. We already covered them gaslighting us with this SBMM study where they condition us for 5 years to expect the game to perform a certain way. They, without telling us, take away skill-based matchmaking, which improves the better player's experience, the better player's morale, while hurting the lesser skilled player's morale. However, it's a flawed test because we don't know what the servers were doing, we don't know what events they were doing, we don't know how fatigued the person was, we don't know when they did this, like time of day wise. It's a completely flawed experiment. And the past two videos, if you missed them, you really need to watch them to see how much they want to lie to you to fit their own narrative. It is complete horseshit. It's not a scientific experiment at all. There's too many variables outside of the realm of what they're trying to do to say that this is a conclusive study. You know what I mean? Especially considering that back in the day, Call of Duty never had this problem. Pre-Modern Warfare 2019, Call of Duty never had an issue with retaining players. They did when the game sucked, imagine that, but they had no issue retaining players on good games like Modern Warfare 2, the OG, Black Ops 2, etc., etc. Black Ops 1, isn't that still one of the highest selling Call of Duties of all time? No skill-based matchmaking at all. Theater mode, great zombies mode. You know, like, it wasn't modern either. People use that as an excuse. Like, if it's not modern, it's not going to sell. Well, Black Ops 1 proved that wrong. I don't know, man. I'm to a point, and again, guys, I'm sorry I can't show you any leaks in what I'm talking about. This is a bit of a trust me bro video, but I will say this, from what I saw, again, it just looks like the passion's completely gone from Treyarch. They had 4 years to work on this game, and it looks like a Modern Warfare clone reskin. It truly, truly does. At a certain point, either you need to stop releasing these games yearly. This needs to be the end of it. Make this be the last one, seriously. The year after this, guys, the year after this, two things are going to happen. People say XDefiant's not a competitor, and that's fine. It might die off. It might get a second wind here and really prove itself as a true alternative to the shitty Call of Duty multiplayer. But I think when Call of Duty multiplayer is crap and people aren't really invested in it, they're going to go back to XDefiant because it's free and it'll have like content that keeps building. Eventually, Infinity Ward's going to get the the go. They're going to get the green light. And you can't tell me that Infinity Ward releasing a slow, campy, safe space, door-riddled, like 8 multiplayer maps at launch experience is going to compete with games like GTA 6 with XDefiant's multiplayer component, which is going to have like 30 multiplayer maps, a plethora of guns, features that keep getting added on to the game and not taken away yearly. I'm going to stick with the game that has a long-term vision and that isn't trying to make this like a sprint and more of a marathon. I'm going to stick with the game that's been in development for like decades now at this point with GTA 6. I'm going to stick with games that don't want to release me a cash grab every single year, whether that be me purchasing the game for $70 or just subscribing to Game Pass, which ends up being more if I stay on the game the entire year. But I'm just not interested in it, man. And here's the thing. You might be saying, like, none of this, like, XDefiant's not a competitor. None of this matters, because they've fallen down on the console charts, for example. I want to just really explain to you guys how Call of Duty kind of manipulates this, because Warzone is the cash grab. BR is the casual thing, man. Kids that fail at gym and the 50-year-old dads, they love their Warzone. Let me tell you. They love their Warzone that they can play on their PS4, which is 11 years old as well. Call of Duty aims to just tap into that casual market. It's smart. They bundle everything in to that one launcher. So Call of Duty appears at the top when they have literally 5 games feeding that one metric. If we actually separate the multiplayer component, the 6v6 multiplayer component, which is not as popular as it used to be, sadly, because that's what I like, and compare it to something like XDefiant, the numbers are going to be shockingly similar between Modern Warfare 3, for example, the current Call of Duty, and XDefiant. They're going to be shockingly similar as far as the player base is concerned. Guys, I don't know what to say other than 6v6 multiplayer. I hope that we get more arcade shooters. I hope we get more competition in the space along with XDefiant that really pushes Call of Duty to stop this fucking yearly release nonsense. If you want to release a yearly DLC, campaign, whatever, to your already existing multiplayer and zombies modes that add on to the experience instead of resetting everything, I'm down for that. I have no use for the campaign. So I stopped playing Call of Duty campaigns like back in 2000, I don't know, man, 11, 12, because what's the point? Like, I don't know. I've played pretty much the best ones. You can't argue that Call of Duty 4's campaign and like Black Ops 1's campaign and stuff like that are worse than what we're getting now. Like, I don't know, man. I have no real desire to play a 4-hour campaign mode anymore. It's just not really my cup of tea. I'm there for the multiplayer component. And I truly think, again, if you compare the actual multiplayers to games like, XDefiant or whatever, it is grossly similar. So I'm gonna give XDefiant the benefit of the doubt. I think with the stuff I've seen coming, the leaks coming to this game, they got some really good stuff coming. I really do think you guys are going to be surprised if you haven't kept up on leaks with this game about what's actually coming feature and content-wise. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this gameplay. I will catch you on the next one. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Black Ops 6, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to be disappointed if you're like me. I'm sorry to say that, but it's true. Anyway, I'm out, guys. Peace.
Some parting advice?